What ho? And what ho from Goku Ultra Instinct Mastered. I'm not calling him Mastered Ultra Instinct, that's stupid. It's Goku Ultra Instinct Omen and Goku Ultra Instinct Mastered. I thought I should get that out of the way. I have an upcoming series that you'll find out. It is a series I'll make about how technology and life billions of years in the future will be changed or insignificantly, or barely even conceivable compared to the modern 21st century. I am to make a series about things like giant megastructures, like Dyson spheres, but multi-galactic Dyson spheres. I will make a series about, you'll find out. I was going to lay in a few clues. That should be enough clues. For today's video, I'm going to talk about something that is underrated and by 2035 or 2050 could even be completely obsolete. Today I will talk about a little thing called thorium, or as the video title would say, could thorium be made obsolete by fusion? For the record, I'm going to put all of this out there. I did make a 10-minute long video, but as I was not getting all the way to the point, I was taking too long, I decided to discard it. I tried making a second video that lasted a few minutes, and I just discarded that as well because it was also not as good. I fucked up. I said fuck, so this video is no longer monetized, but it was not monetized. To say, if you're talking about ways of saving the natural environment and an environmentally friendly form of energy, the first thing you think of is either a solar panel, a wind turbine, a bioreactor for algae biofuel, biomass, tidal, geo, hydro, all sorts of things. Then there's the potential for nuclear. Considering the word cannot be pronounced in the human tongue, I will change nuclear to nuke, because nuclear is fucking retarded. It's like a Googleplex L's. No word should have a Googleplex amount of any letter, period. I'm a fan of environmentally friendly energy. That includes nuke. Yeah. Even though nuke gets a gigantically bad rap for not looking very environmentally friendly, or not looking good for the natural environment, it's not producing carbon, it's producing steam. Those giant stereotypical stacks, that's not supposed to have steam. And the problem is the amount of uranium that has to be bought, as uranium is a tiny amount of material that has to be mined in large quantities, that has to put through a reactor using water. However, fortunately, Mother Earth, or Big Fat Bastard Earth, as it should be called, has something better than uranium: thorium. For any metric ton or metre by metre by metre or metre cubic of ground, you will find an amount of uranium and thorium. The thorium is 30 to around 200 times more powerful and is around 3 times more common. I don't know exactly how many times more common or how many exactly times more powerful. Oh, it is more common. It's 30 to around 200 times more powerful. So imagine a 30th of the amount of uranium or 200th of the amount of material being mined. That, and there's more thorium per metric ton or cubic metre, metre by metre by metre of ground compared to uranium. So it's far better. To put that into comparison, Planet Earth's moon has 1.1 million metric tons of helium-3, a type of helium that can be put in a process for energy. That's 1.1 million. It takes 25 metric tons of helium-3 from the moon to power America for a year. Times 10, the humans, times 10 odd. I will times 10 for simplicity. The human space would need 250 metric tons of helium-3 per year. Planet Earth's moon has 1.1 million metric tons. That's enough helium-3 for around 4,400 years. At very least amount of duration, that could last 440 years, or at least 100 years. That should be plenty of power. I've written down a bit of information, but I haven't re-reviewed this information, and it might be a bit confusing. Thorium energy. There's around 120 metric tons of thorium in the ground that can be taken or extracted. It's 35 to around 200 times more powerful than uranium, and it is said there is enough thorium in the ground to last 1,000 years or more. I did a lot of the math, and it doesn't just add up. I mean, thousands of years of thorium from that amount of material, taking into account how much uranium is needed. I don't even know how much uranium is needed. It's too confusing. Now, I found there would be around 45 gigawatt days per ton of uranium, or 1.8 gigawatt hours. Question mark. That's of uranium. Times 35 for a least amount of energy. Thorium would have 1.5 terawatts, or brackets terawatt days, or 9 petawatts? Oh, terawatts. There are people like me who are quite enthusiastic about thorium, and I like the idea of thorium, even though fusion is a bit more powerful. To put a fusion into comparison, there's 33 grams of deuterium, and perhaps its fellow component for hydrogen fusion, tritanium, or tritidium, whatever it's called, in a metric ton of water. It takes 200 grams of deuterium-tritanium fusion to power the human species for a year. So that means you need to mine less than 10 metric tons of water for enough deuterium, and perhaps it's tritanium as it's deuterium-tritanium fusion, or the tritanium can be sort of extracted from the ground. Or, after that point in its progression, you could cut it all out and just have hydrogen fusion of hydrogen itself. Or you can have helium-3 fusion, as that can also be put through a fusion process. You can even be put in a process of fusion along with deuterium. It's all quite confusing. Therefore, you need less than 10 metric tons of water containing its normal amount of deuterium to power the human species for a year. Therefore, a metric ton of deuterium-tritanium fusion would last 5,000 years. Taking into account 1,000 by 1,000 meters, or a kilometer by kilometer, or a kilometer squared, you could get around 33 metric tons of deuterium-tritanium. That's 33 times 5,000 years of fuel, or 5,000 years of fuel for fusion. And the ITER and tokamak reactors for fusion, deuterium-tritanium fusion first, are said or predicted to be operational by either 2035 or by 2050. So that's a medium ball of around 2040. So I'm worried thorium, something that has never been given much of a look in and has been ignored for the vast majority of the human species, including the time of nuke energy, it's not going to get its opportunity. So, as the title of the video would suggest, could thorium be outdated or obsolete by fusion? I hope they have a bit of fusion about the human species and divert all the rest of the fusion of the spaceships, because that is a way around the problem. You know, fusion power, a little spaceship. Yes, it's a spaceship I made out of a 3D printer pan. That's the gravity ring, or the, if necessary, the Accuberry drive. The green part is the engine or the fuel. The orange is living quarters, plus the shuttle bay. But the gravity is going in that direction because the position of the gravity ring. I kept it in this position so it could also be an Accuberry drive. Therefore, the shuttle bay doors are narrow and tall. Bit of a design flaw. You can have the landing struts to keep it stabilised on land. Little broken matchsticks. There is a way around the problem, diverting primarily all the fusion into the spaceships, because 33 metric tons per kilometre, that means, that depends on how much you can put in a spaceship. If you filled up all 25 metric tons of cargo room on board a space shuttle, that's most of 33 metric tons. Therefore a space shuttle can be filled with most of kilometres of helium-3. I mean of fusion collected in water. And there aren't that many square kilometres on Earth, period. Maybe put your answer in the comment section below if there's any other suggestion or any idea around the problem. I just want helium-3 and thorium to get their chance. They never had much of an opportunity. The problem with helium-3 is that you need to get all the way to the moon. Thorium's here on Earth and it's plentiful. So thorium might just be a wasted form of energy in the future. I just wanted thorium to have an opportunity. So, if thorium is not used in the future, I'd love disapproving. If anybody in the comment section has an idea around the problem, be sure to let me know. Cars a daisy.